I like it. It's fine. It's not the same. I think it's bad on that. Like, I don't know. If you get it, there's one second.
Good evening, everyone. How are you? Welcome to Ravenscroft. Welcome to Jazzbird. We're very, very glad to have you guys here tonight. So I just want to say welcome. My name is David Bauer. I'm the director here at this lovely facility, and I get to work with just some amazing people behind the scenes and meet all these great artists every single week. So I am just really glad to see such a great crowd here this evening. How many of you would just say, by raising a hand, this is your first time here at Ravenscroft? Wonderful. So thank you for coming out tonight. Give yourself a hand. As we get started, I just want to point out a couple things that we have coming up. We are rounding out our full second season here, so thank you for all of you who have been supporting Ravenscroft and especially the Jazzbird nights through this whole season. We have about 42 Jazzbird nights that run through the season, so we have another month through June that we're going to run the Jazzbird shows. So just please keep coming out and inviting some friends. I want to tell you Sunday night, 2 nights from now, right here at 6 o'clock, is Zazu West. They're going to be performing here in Jazzbird for our Jazz for the Soul event. So you want to be sure and be a part of that. That is a free event too. So our Jazz for the Soul events are fun. We do a lot of the same kind of programming here, and we also do a benefit to help other organizations through the Jazz for the Soul program. So I'd love to invite you guys to come back and show up for that. If you've been checking our website this past week, we did announce our next season in the Ravenscroft Hall. There's a slide that's going to go up on the screens. Right now we have 12 shows booked for what we're now calling our Ravenscroft Concert Series, because we are branching out a little bit beyond just the jazz genre. So Rob Moore, our music director here, is helping us book a lot of great artists, and we are just very excited. We have some more we're hoping to add to that roster of concerts. But right now there's 12 excellent shows for you to choose from. I would love to invite you guys to check that out. So all the tickets for all those shows are on sale right now. If you are a patron, if you're a donor, there are special discounts that are available to you if you have partnered with us in that way. If you want to know more about that, I'd be happy to explain that in a little bit greater detail. But next season is alive and well. We're very excited about what's coming up. Now, I want to kind of just preface this because I know we get a lot of feedback from y'all, and we appreciate it. We're very much considering going to a reserved ticketed seating situation for Jazzbird nights next year. Would that be okay with you? Okay. No, yes, no. Okay. Those of you on the no side over here, and those of you on the way, we'll just have a big arm wrestling match over it. Okay. No, what we're trying to consider is just to try to make this this experience, keep it elevated, elegant, wonderful, and give us the chance to take some of the pressure off of you having to show up at 4:45. You know who you are, some of you weirdos out there that show up so early, okay, for a 6 o'clock door call. But we'd love to just try to keep Ravenscroft and especially the Jazzbird nights a classy experience. We love that you come. You can have dinner. You can know coming into the facility at 6:45 that you have a table and a seat reserved in your name. So that's something that we're sorting out. All right. So just to let you know, that's probably coming next season when we start in September 1. Check out the website for all the latest, greatest information. I don't want to rattle off all the events. You guys have mobile devices and web browsers that you can check out the website, and we'd love for you guys to come back and keep supporting Ravenscroft through all of the concerts. If you want to see the concert hall, we have a wonderful 200-seat, beautiful Ravenscroft concert hall here. During the show break tonight, when these guys break around 8 o'clock or so, if you want to go into the hall, I'd be happy to be your host and tell you a little bit more about what we do in the programming in there, and a little bit more about Ravenscroft and the foundation behind this awesome operation. All right, tonight on this stage, we have Mr. Benjamin Cortez, who is, cool thing is, now I want to say, I'm going to put him on the spot. If you look at the Ravenscroft concert series for next year, Benjamin is our December 16th show. So he's going to be the headliner in the hall with his group. So you're going to be be sure and come back. We have Danny Morissette tonight, who's playing sax. We have Todd Johnson on bass. Todd Johnson's been a headliner here. We have Dom Moyo. Dom's been headlining here. And we have this weird guy behind me by the name of Guido Sarducci is playing tonight. Help me welcome Mr. Joe Garcia to the stage tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for remembering my name, David. I love him. Wow, this is a great turnout this evening. I want to thank you very much for taking the time out of your Friday evening to come out here and join us. And we love playing here. I've been here many, many times, and also in the main hall. I love this place, and I want to keep coming back here. It's a lot of fun. I'll be back periodically throughout the show to make some announcements and kind of give you some updates on some stuff that we're doing. But before we get started, Andrew Gross was scheduled to be with us this evening. He was on the bill with us, and unfortunately, he's ill. He's going to be okay, but he doesn't know if he has COVID, but he's going to get tested. So he was unable to do it. So in the 11th hour, and I mean the 11th hour, we were scrambling to try and find somebody to replace Andrew, and that's not very easy to do. And we found someone willing to do it without rehearsing, without looking at the music. He just kind of realized who he was playing with. He says, I'm in. He's leaving for Japan tomorrow morning. So you think he would have said, yeah, I just want to stay home and relax and pack my suitcase so I can get up at 3 in the morning to get to the airport. So I want you to really give a round of applause to Danny Morissette tonight on alto sax. Okay, I'll be back later. Bye. Thank you. Thank you very much. That was off of a 1961 Freddie Hubbard album entitled Ready for Freddie. Only Freddie didn't do it as a cha-cha. He did it as a ballad. So that goes all the way back to 1961, 62 years ago. Weaver of Dreams is that one. I want to take a moment right up front here to introduce you the members of the band again. I know David did it, but I can do it a lot better. So I'm going to do it. This is my band. I'm going to do it. Anyway, on piano, Mr. Benjamin Cortez. On alto saxophone, bound for Japan, Mr. Danny Morissette. Todd, as he's known in Brazil, or Todd, as I know him here, in Scottsdale. On bass, Mr. Todd Johnson. My musical director, my best friend, my brother from another mother. He says that about me every time he introduces me. On drums, the one and only Don Moio. So I just mentioned Brazil very quickly, and that's kind of where we'll going with this next composition, which is on Green Dolphin Street. We're going to do it a little bit as a samba, so give you that feel of the Brazilian samba, especially from Rio de Janeiro. So that's what's up next, Green Dolphin Street. was just reminded by the musical director, who has told me that this next composition that we're going to play was on the Cinco de Mayo album, which debuted in 2004. So 19 years ago, when we all got together in the studio, it made some great music, and it still holds up to today. So it was a lot of fun making that album a long time ago. So if any of you, and I'm sure many of you have, because you all look like you're world travelers, like you've traveled quite a bit in your lifetimes. If you've ever been to the island of Puerto Rico, how many have been? Look at that. See, I knew it. I knew it. Okay. Well, there are two particular rhythms that are known in Puerto Rico. There are many others as well as these two particular ones I'm going to tell you about. But these really are the ones that are prominent ones and the ones that found their way to the United States through musical groups in New York and in Miami and Chicago and in Los Angeles. And I love both of the rhythms. The plena is one of them. Let's play with different instruments. Don't necessarily use conga drums, but they use panderetas to play. There's 3 different types. And the sounds are just amazing. And they're played with one hand, just one hand, each player. 3 different drums, 3 different sizes, played with one hand. Then there's my favorite rhythm, which has deep African roots, just like many of the rhythms that are found in Cuba, on the island of Cuba, which is where my family's from. And this is the one that I really like the most from Puerto Rico, and there are many different variations of this particular rhythm, which is called the bomba. So we're going to give you the one that you hear most of the time, because if you get too involved with the rhythms, then you kind of, if you're not inside and you know what's going on with that stuff, you can kind of get lost in translation. But this one you've heard on many different rhythms, and they actually use this rhythm on popular music too. So it's usually played not on conga drums, but what they call barriles, which are wine crates. What do they call them, Tom? Case, yeah, the kegs. And they're made to look like congas, but they're a lot shorter, about half the size of the drums you see on stage right now. And the shells are encircled by stainless bands, and they have natural heads, usually goat or mule hide. And their sound is very much like a djembe drum. So if you're familiar with the djembe drum from Africa, West Africa in particular, that's kind of what it sounds like. But we decided to take this jazz standard and make it a Puerto Rican bomba because I like bomba. So we're going to share it with you right now. What is this thing called love? Okay, that's the kind of rhythm that kind of gets you moving in your seat, swaying like this, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then sooner or later you get up. And if you don't get up, you'll die sitting there. So it's a great, great rhythm. If you go to Puerto Rico, you'll hear it. And there's many different versions of bomba. But it's they claim it, they own it, it's theirs. And it's a blend of Afro-Puerto Rican music brought over during the diaspora, the slave trade. And then a lot of different rhythms went off to Cuba as well. So that's where you have the cha-cha and the mambo and the guaguancó and all that stuff. That's all Cuba stuff. But Puerto Rico's got their propio, plena, and bomba. Okay, we are going to slow things up a bit. This is something that Danny brought to the party, and we're glad he did. This is a beautiful ballad entitled Body and Soul. Danny Morissette. Danny Morissette.
How about it for Danny Morissette coming here bailing us out tonight? I'm going to just take a second before we're going to play one more tune before we take a break. But some of you that know me know I recently just retired from ASU after 33 years over there. And I would like to say that I had the pleasure of both of these gentlemen being in my combos, my Latin band. Ben, during the pandemic, was my recording engineer, my whole rhythm section. And you know, the last probably 10 years, people would always come up to all of us that teach at the school, Mike Coker, myself, and he always say, you know, what do you guys think you're doing, teaching these kids how to play jazz? How are they going to make a living? And all this nonsense, right? Well, this is what happens when we teach people how to play jazz. And these guys, now Ben, I don't know Danny's background. Ben comes from a very musical family. His father's here. His parents are here, Mr. Jaime Cortez, Mr. and Mrs. Jaime Cortez. And I met them, 25 years ago at least. Ben was little at the session. He was a kid. Don't want to embarrass him. And then I remember as him, a young man coming to audition at ASU right out of high school, and I didn't think anything of it, just another name on a list of a bunch of people auditioning. And he starts playing. And I'm playing, and I'm saying, who the hell is this guy? You know? And then when I looked at his name, I said, Cortez? I said, are you Jaime's kid? He said, yeah. And I went, wow. So we worked together all through his undergrad. And these guys, you know, I was just telling Jaime actually that I just finished my 50th year of actually teaching college. And these are the kind of guys that kept me in the game that long. And we're really happy that you guys could be here with us tonight. So let's hear it for the youths. The youths.
Look, there's not much I could add to that in terms of describing these great young musicians, these young men. But there's one other thing I'd like to add to Ben Cortez's little resume. And that is, I met his dad 2 years ago. We've probably known each other for at least 20, 25 years. And Ben was a little bitty guy back then, too. Because we can't go back too far, Ben, because you'll disappear. But I want to tell you that I've had the privilege of working with him and doing some recording with him, too. And he's a genius. He's brilliant. First of all, I can't tell which is his main instrument because he plays so many of them, and he plays so many of them really, really well. He sings. He plays guitar. He's amazing. Plays bass, piano, I know. Drums. And drums. He's a really good drums player, and percussion. But if he gets near my stuff, he knows he'll probably get hurt. So he's an amazing, amazing young musician, and as Dom indicated, this is evidence of the jazz programs at good schools like ASU and others. And look at these guys. Look at these. They look great. I love these guys. Okay, there's one other announcement I want to make before we do this last song and close out the first set, and that is Cheryl Edwards is a friend of our family's, and she's seated way in the back there somewhere. Cheryl, are you still here? Yeah, I can see a little hand waving in the background. Anyway, today officially is her birth. I'm not going to tell you how old she is, because that's not polite. And I'm a Latin guy, and we're very polite when it comes to women. Today is her birthday officially. So Cheryl, I just want to wish you a very, very happy birthday on behalf of everyone here. Thank you. All right, softly. Let's just go right on. I need a tech guy. Ben Cortez, Danny Morissette, Taji Johnson, and Senor Don Moyo. I'm Joe Garcia. We're going to take a little break, and we'll be right back. Do not leave. All right. Bye-bye.
join us whenever he comes up. So if you want, after you give me a big flourishing chord when you're done, and I'll start to set the tempo.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We are back for set number 2. And we'd like to start off this set with a Wayne Shorter composition he wrote back in 1966. This is entitled Footprints, and we do this in an Afro-Cuban 6/8. So sit back and enjoy. Dan hasn't disappeared. He had a little trouble with some of the food tonight. It kind of upset his stomach. So, but he'll be back. He's not too far away. So we're going to continue without him until he comes back. We're kind of hard on saxophone players here. The first guy called in sick. We did like a little voodoo thing and got him sick. So anyway, so as he. No, the food was delicious, and he enjoyed the food. There's no reflection on the food whatsoever. The food was fantastic. Don't you all agree? Yeah. It's just some people are affected differently by certain things they eat. So anyway, he'll make it back. If not, we'll send in the Coast Guard, and they can rescue him and bring him back to us. So I am a big fan of Brazilian music. Even though I grew up in a Cuban household, and I listened to a whole lot of Cuban music, my dad had a wide variety of interest and taste when it came to music. He was an airline executive. He worked at Miami International Airport for many years. And right next door, when he left his office, was a discoteca, which is a record store. And he would pop in there every Friday. And back then, you could buy albums for 50 cents, $1. New albums, new releases, too. They still had the cellophane on them, which was really a lot of fun because he'd let us open them, when he'd bring them home. So my brother and I, as kids, were exposed to a lot of great music. And my dad kind of fiddled around a little bit, pardon the expression, with the bass. And he wasn't that good, but he loved music. And he put together live bands that would perform in our home, in our living room, once or twice a month on weekends. And that was my whole introduction to music, by sitting there as a little kid in my pajamas watching all these professional musicians play, and it was a lot of fun. And eventually led me to one of the individuals in the band who was eventually became my drum teacher. So all the stuff, he brought everything in. So from Tito Rodriguez to Tito Puente to Cal Jader to Antonio Carlos Jobim, which leads me to this next introduction to the tune we're going to do. And I immediately, even as a kid, just fell in love with it. My mom loved Brazilian music. She loved it. When Sergio Mendes hit the scene in '66 with Brazil 66, she went crazy for that stuff, and we had it playing in our household all the time. So Antonio Carlos Jobim wrote probably more than 500 compositions. And most of the American public has been inundated with the same 5 songs over and over and over again. And they're great, but there's so many other ones that are really fantastic. So this one is one of my favorites. It's entitled Triste, which in Portuguese or in Spanish means sadness. It's a beautiful song, and we're going to do it as a bossa nova. And Danny Morissette will join us on this. He's here. He's back. They missed you, Dan. They missed you.
We'll set it up.
Wait a minute. Gotta kill him. He's got more energy than 10 little kids I know.
Yeah, till I get home on the couch and I'm like, All right, Joey and I'll set.
All right, let me just
You gonna
give,
tell?
yeah, just from the phone Blue Hotel in Miami Beach. Where's my guy? Where's my mic guy? Hello. There you go. Hello, hello.
You got it.
I got a big enough mouth. What was that Jackie Gleason used to say? I got a big wow. Here he comes.
We'll just play it, then we'll talk about it afterwards.
You had it muted.
Oh, I had it muted.
Press the
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh!
Operator era. Yes. All those years of flying fighter jets in the Air Force, and I can't even work the microphone. Anyway, I took the songs a little bit out of order. Dom yelled at me, but you didn't see it. So we're going back to Brazil again, and another favorite rhythm that I really enjoy, and Dom can play it up frontwards and backwards, which is Baião rhythm from the northern part of Brazil. But this is a beautiful ballad that was written by Victor Young around 1944. It probably appeared in a lot of different movies, maybe even one by the name of the title of the composition. So this is a Baião, Stella by Starlight. Did I mute it again? Testing. No, I didn't. So sorry. So sorry.
Joe in the microphone.
Oh, my God. Most easiest things. All right, we're nearing the end of our run this evening. But it won't be the last time that you see us. Hopefully we'll be able to come back into this room or back into the large theater as well. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. During the break, I always kind of make my way around and try and see as many people as I can and shake hands and kiss the babies and tell people I'm running for office. But I often wonder about the people way in the back. And from what I'm told from those people back there, they can hear everything just fine and they can see everything. Is that correct? Everybody in the back, all the way in the back, way back. People outside of the theater, out on the sidewalk. Okay, all right, so good. I'm glad you can do that. It's so nice that they put the monitors up, don't you agree? Because just about anywhere you sit, especially in the back, you have a really good bird's eye view of everything that's going on stage. So that's really cool. So anyway, this next one, we're going to slow it down. It's a beautiful, beautiful ballad. And it's going to feature none other than Mr. Wonderful Ben Cortez. This is Embraceable You. Embraceable You. Mr. Ben Cortez. Ben Cortez. Ben, you've got great parents. They're right there. Jamie and Carrie. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Those are his parents right there. Great people. Thank you, Ben. St. Thomas now? Hey, listen, not only is it time for us to say goodbye, it was our last tune coming up here, but Sound like a southerner all of a sudden. I'm from the southern part of the Cuban island. Anyway. Well, maybe like one of those cartoon characters, huh? Yosemite Sam. Anyway, we'd like to take this opportunity to thank you all very much for coming. Thank you for taking the time out of your Friday evening to spend it here with us at this beautiful venue. This is a real establishment. It's gorgeous. So on behalf of Mr. Ben Cortez, Danny Morissette, Todd Johnson, El Maestro Don Moyo, yours truly, Joe Garcia, we say goodnight with an Eddie Harris tune entitled Cold Duck Time. Go get one. Big Cortez, Danny Morissette, Kaji Johnson, Senor Dan Moyo. Yours truly, Joe Garcia. Thank you all so much. God bless you all. Have a great weekend. Have a great weekend. We love you. Good night.